He's an 8-time Louisiana Association of Broadcasters Award winner. And he snapped a ball through his legs.
Wait, why does your name get to go first?
Shut up.
This is Scone T.
Because they made us.
This is not ball with a ball. Nope. It's not ball with a ball. That's not what this is. Nope.
It basically
It's not basically that at all. That's not what it is.
You ever heard of girl talk?
You got it wrong. You are wrong.
Wait, you think
Headphones are a little loud.
time out.
Headphones are a little loud.
You think I legitimately thought
Too low.
that was ball with the ball?
Yeah, you're dumb. You're very wrong. Wait, do you legitimately think that I legitimately thought that you thought that was ball with the ball?
Yeah, I did actually just now.
That's really disappointing.
Okay.
Considering the whole tone and tenor of this show.
Well struck.
That you actually thought that I thought you thought that was
No,
ball
I
with the
know
ball.
I did though. I'm just being honest. Well struck. I'm not even
You
gonna.
must think I'm a real
I
asshole.
could just keep the bit going, and I could say no. I knew that you knew that I knew, but no, I did. So you played me. Good job. Well done.
Kind of like how last week I did a better Delilah than you.
You did do a way better lie. I will give your fucking Delilah props. I was impressed. I was trying to workshop stuff in my head, spitball it. I wasn't coming up with anything.
And, man, and I had so many more to go to as well.
It.
Like, I actually was going to play out the entire plot of Con Air in my head.
On Delilah? That makes
like,
sense because like Nick Cage is desperately trying to get home for Christmas, and he has this bunny to give his daughter.
But starting with the why I'm in prison. I just got out of prison and why I just got to go back to the bar fight and all that sort of stuff. And I was defending my wife and I hit a man in the nose and killed him.
That's actually a great bit.
That's what I was going to do that. I had that one in my head, but I was like, yeah, that was a little complex.
I'd be so excited. For the part where Nick Cage tells Delilah about throwing Dave Chappelle's dead body out of the plane with a note written on it for the cops to find.
Dave Chappelle in it. Like when I went back and watched that movie a few years ago, I was like, "Holy shit, that's Dave Chappelle!"
Yeah, I know. I love movies like that where somebody gets. It's like 40-Year-Old Virgin, and Jonah Hill's just like the awkward fat kid who wants to sell his roller skate to the eBay store.
He's trying to buy
he's trying to buy them. Yeah, but it's an eBay. But it's an eBay store where they only sell them. Yeah.
He's like,
they sell them on eBay.
Yeah,
you can't
I
buy
want to
them.
give you money for this. Yeah.
Jonah Hill.
What about Austin Powers? 1997 Will Ferrell is Mustafa.
Yeah. I'm still alive, very badly burned.
Like Will Ferrell. I mean, okay. Night at the Roxbury was not his first movie. It was Austin Powers.
What was Will Ferrell's first thing? Like, what did he do before SNL? Or was SNL his major come up? Like, he had to do something. What's fancy? Look at this curvaceous drink, Wiggins. Oh, my, wow. Okay, never mind. It actually is. I turned it around and boobs popped in my face. It actually is a curvy woman of a glass here. What is this? This is the Aphrodite special.
So Will Ferrell had an...
Is this horny goat weed? I've seen it at the gas station all the time. I've never known what it is.
He had an unsuccessful attempt at stand-up comedy, Will Ferrell did, then joined the Groundlings.
What, an improv group?
Yes.
Wow.
And then to SNL.
Wow. Damn, who scouted him out? Good shit.
You know, have you ever seen his SNL audition tape?
Mm-mm.
He did the Harry Carey bit. And he did a terrible job. It was awful, too, but they all said they loved it and it was hilarious. But you watch it now with the benefit of hindsight of having seen him do it on the show, and it was really very poorly done. He refined the character a lot over the years.
Isn't that the most intimidating part about art, though? And it's so different from our business because so much of our business is extemporaneous and kind of off the cuff, but like a lot of great art, it's like you have to be willing to accept that whatever your initial pass at it is way wrong, probably.
Yeah.
And that you have to continue to grind at it, continue to chip away, continue to criticize, continue to observe, and then eventually you maybe get to where you want to be. But it's like when you know it's over, a lot of times you don't know it's over. You just have to turn in the project, or the deadline is up, or the show's got to begin, or whatever.
All right. Well, we're here at Oliver Twist. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you're live on YouTube or Facebook, if you're watching or listening on demand, thank you so much for being here as well. If you're on YouTube, please smash the like button and subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, please like the 104.5 ESPN page and share the post. If you're listening on podcast, please subscribe up to the pod. And shout out, Oliver Twist is popping tonight, man. The bar is full. The whole bar area is full. There's some tables available over in the restaurant side, but the bar area is full. People getting lit tonight.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I can never exactly tell.
Ooh, a Nike notification. Hang on.
What makes the Wednesdays pop versus what doesn't? You know?
Yeah, I don't. No. Well,
anytime you get to go into Baton Rouge during the summer, it's good to go because there's no students around here right now. Kind of love it, but whatever.
Well, it's a great time this week here. MLB Draft is finished.
Yeah.
Getting a clear picture of the 2024.
Cam Johnson coming to LSU. They'll just cut to the fucking meat.
Yes.
Is that official now? Or or are you saying, is it official or are you saying yes?
He tweeted some tiger emojis earlier.
Cam did. Okay, not the other, the lefty, the number one player in the state.
Jake Brown.
Yeah, Jake Brown.
Jake Brown did that and then deleted it.
Yeah, I know. So that got me a little concerned. But then he retweeted somebody else tweeting him basically going to LSU. It got very confusing.
If you want to, I'll run through all of the prospects. I feel like I have a really good handle on everybody's situation.
Yeah.
So I'm quite fine going through that.
Ackenhausen's back, baby. Let's fucking go, dude.
So we can go through that, but we're getting a clear picture of LSU's 24 roster. And then also SEC Media Days.
I'm very excited.
Monday. Are you really excited? You love Media Days?
What the fuck? Are you kidding me? All it is football and networking, and all networking is eating and drinking. And it's in Nashville, where I've never been before. As soon as we get boots on the ground in Nashville, I'm going to a Western country store, and I'm buying a bolo tie and a cowboy hat. I'm undecided if I'm going to buy boots or not. I probably will.
You'll be able to do that in the airport if you want.
No. I want to go to a stop. I want to go to a Nashville, country store. But no, I'm ecstatic. I just feel awful for my wife because this is like one of those things where technically it's work and I have to go. But I am going to be having a fantastic time all week, and she's going to be stuck at home with the kids. So. She's the realest of the real. Thank you, Kaylin. You're the best. And it's her birthday. I'm fucked.
When?
Wednesday.
So is that the 19th?
Yeah.
Oh, man. My sister's July 19th. And my son is July 18th.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so we got two birthdays.
There you go.
And my niece is tomorrow, the 13th.
So you're skipping out on everybody.
I'm the 8th. My nephew's the 4th. Erica's the 30th. My niece is the 29th. July's an expensive month.
When do y'all get horny? Like October? October, November?
Oh, yeah, October,
You're just a little Halloween fucker, aren't you?
That or football season, big wins, maybe.
Oh,
yeah. That's what I've always thought it probably is.
Nothing
but
like
when we were there in Nashville.
It's also bye-week time.
When we were there in Nashville in 2019, Cobble and I went to Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse. One of the best steaks I've ever had in my life, and I will definitely be going there at some point next week.
What, Ruby Tuesdays?
No, Jeff
Fuck
Ruby's.
yes, dude. I love Ruby Tuesdays. Let's fucking go, dude. Solid steak Ruby Tuesdays. Got that shit on lot, dude. You get the Ruby Tuesday ribeye special, medium rare, potatoes, gratin on the side. Absolutely delicious,
Not
dude.
that place. Ruby Tuesdays is the place that was in the mall at the old place in Hoover, the shit place that we had to used to go to and hang out in rural suburban Birmingham in a hotel attached to a mall just because it was close to the conference office. How fucked up was that?
I enjoyed it.
Jesus.
I eat Chinese food in the mall every day. And one night, I had a very sad night where I was trying to network.
Oh, jeez.
And I was trying to sneak my way into a dinner. We're all hanging out at the bar. And everybody goes, all right, time to go to dinner, and left me. And there I was alone at the bar, and I did what any person would do in that situation. I went to the Olive Garden alone for the first time. I've never been before.
Oh, wow.
And I enjoyed some breadsticks and some fettuccine Alfredo, and I leaned into being a little sad. I'm not going to lie. Like, I let myself feel a little sad. I watched some YouTube.
Was this 2 years ago?
Maybe 2, 3 some years ago. Yeah, that's right, yeah. And
because we went one night, you and me and the Crane boys, Jake and Blaine and
that
Cone.
Was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. We went and smashed beers at Twin Peaks.
Yes. Well, this was the weird part about it was, so of course Jake Crane and Company, and his brother Blaine and David Cone do that show. They just sort of launched. It wasn't Crane and Company. It was
no, that was their original podcast. That was before they were even at the Volume. They were at the Volume before I was at the Volume. So they were just the J-Boy podcast at that point.
And Jake,
maybe they'd just gone.
Apparently, no, they hadn't gone yet. But
Okay.
he was apparently like from Birmingham or something. So he was going to pick the restaurant and had this was going to show us where to go.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then I was like, I got off air at 6. Obviously, I had already left, and so I'm like, hey, where are we going? They're like, we're at Twin Peaks.
I was a little surprised by that
it.
as well because they were like hyping up like we were going to go somewhere local, and then we went to Twin Peaks.
Yeah, that happened.
No, so another night I was trying to weasel my way into another group, and I got left behind. But you know what, dude? Olive Garden, fucking dope.
That is
endless breadsticks are nice. Endless fettuccine. Was it endless fettuccine Alfredo? I don't know. I don't think I went 2 plates of fettuccine Alfredo. You can go 1 plate of fettuccine Alfredo when you're sad. If you go 2 plates, you're going to double down on your sadness. And you're going to feel way worse about yourself than when you walked in.
If I don't know that anybody watching or listening right now gives a shit about this conversation, but the one thing, I'm serious, the one thing, though, about media days that is a little weird is that it is really cliquish. You know what I mean? Like, you got the national writers, like Pat Forty and Dan Wolkin, and like all those guys hang out together, and then you have
Ross Dellinger's in there.
Yeah, Deli's kind of in there, but Deli's still cool because he bridges the gap. Deli will hang, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like Deli, I guarantee you at some point, Dennis Dodd's in there.
Yeah.
Like at some point, Deli and I will hang out. We'll go smoke a cigar and drink some whiskey. But like, there's the SEC network. It's like Roman Harper and Tim Tebow and Laura Ross. If you're not in, you're not in.
I'm in like half the SEC network crew. I get to hang out with like half of them. Like I haven't gotten to hang out.
Like Doring's cool.
Yeah, I don't get to hang out with Laura Rutledge or Tim Tebow.
Peter Burns
I do, like
is our guy.
Roman. Oh, why am I blanking?
Dari.
I actually haven't hung out with Dari. Love it. I heard like Dari's like nice. No, Alyssa Lang. Yeah. That's kind of half that I'm allowed into.
It's so funny though, but then you got like it's just how it's like high school,
and it feels
there's
like
the
high
cool
school
kids
dude.
table, and then there's the you're not a welcome over here.
You know what's so funny?
And
that
I'm like,
sad night, I felt like I was in high school.
Yeah,
it was so
weird.
What a brutal fucking throwback it was to like the most insecure time in your life. I'm like, oh my god, dude! I'm like 31 or something. I thought I was past this at this point. No, you're absolutely right.
So that's the part of media days that I'm all.
I'm kind of my feelings are kind of hurt, man.
That's the one about media days. I always feel like this is so.
It is so cliquish, dude.
People like they latch on to their crews that they're with, and it's like a status. I'm like, I just want to make money. I'm just here to make money. That's all I care about. I'll go to dinner with Joe. I just want to make money.
But that said, I do enjoy going out and partying with everybody.
Yeah. It's a good time. All right, let's talk some sports, I guess, or not, whatever. Y'all.
I
want to do this first. I want to talk about this.
And I do want to talk about LSU. Who's LSU's bringing to Media Day because
for sure.
I think it's an excellent kind of commentary on how far the program has come in a year. But continue.
Okay, I'm a little pissed at who they're bringing, quite honestly. I have some thoughts on this, but and it's not a No, let me rephrase. Christ. It's not on who they're bringing; it's who they're not bringing. But anyway, we'll get to that in a second. So this is we did this last year. I don't know if you remember, but our buddy David Steele, Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge, great organization. To boil down Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge, they're basically an organization of people that love whiskey that found a way to use that love of whiskey to raise money for great charities. Like they raise a lot of money for Toys for Tots, and then every year they do this.
What about Toys for Tits? Because I have a glass with boobs on it. That joke didn't play audio, but if you're watching on video, you understand.
Yeah. So every year they do this, which is they call their Screw Cancer bottle, and so they partner with Sugarfield Spirits in Baton Rouge, and they buy these bottles. They finish it. So this is 5-year rye whiskey finished for 1 year in port cask, 3-year 10-month bourbon finished for 15 months in cognac cask. So it should have a lot of sweetness to it as well, which I'm looking forward to. All of the proceeds of these sales are going to prostate cancer research through the LSU Foundation this year. So really cool. Every bottle is it's $175, and I know you're going to say $175, but here's what you get. Obviously, there's the cool display case. You get the bottle, which we're going to sample here in a bit. Part of that money goes.
Well, and it's a commemorative box.
You get the box.
Engravings on here on the side, eradicating cancer, giving back to those in our community, heart of our mission. So each box,
So you get the box
made
with the bottle. And you get 5 tickets to their raffle, which has 40 bottles in it, like Van Winkle's.
Oh, nice.
So you get 5 raffle tickets, and a portion of that 175 is the donation that goes to the foundation.
And
so
how
it's
much
tax
would a
deductible.
raffle ticket be normally?
Here you go. Raffle tickets are $10 each.
Okay, so you get 5, that's $50 knocked off. So yeah, that's great.
And again,
it's $100 for a bottle of whiskey and this, and supporting a good cause. Like, come on, it's easy, folks.
So you can go to bsobrfoundation.com. As a matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll just pin that in the chat.
So it's for prostate cancer?
LSU found the LSU. What does it say? I'm sorry.
LSU Health Systems?
There it is. Yep.
LSU Foundation?
LSU Foundation.
Oh, partnering with prostate cancer research doctors through the LSU Health Systems.
There
You know what they should say? It's about prostate cancer. It says 2023 screw cancer. It should say 2023 screw cancer in the ass.
Okay. You take nice things and you fuck them up. That's what you do.
I don't know, dude. I think that's funny. It's prostate cancer.
Okay.
I got my I got my prostate checked. I know my grandpa had prostate cancer. I'm terrified.
Our buddy Dick
of
Condon
prostate cancer.
beat prostate cancer. So let's open this thing up. Ooh,
Nice catch.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to open this
Oh,
up.
wow, I
So
didn't see the front of the box.
Let's
That's
talk
awesome.
a little. Let's talk a little sports. While I open this up, you fire away with what's on your mind there. T. Bobby.
All right. Pretty cool. Seeing LSU. I guess start with the MLB Draft. Pretty cool seeing LSU's brand on top. Jay Johnson being on the MLB Draft Network, basically just flopping out on the table, being like, "Look, man, come to LSU, you fucking nerds."
That's basically what he did for 4 hours.
Like, there's just been no better.
Like I knew he was going to be part of the coverage.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to be on set the entire 4.5 hours.
No, definitely did not.
It was crazy. The only time he left the set was when Griffey Jr. came on there because they needed his spot. That was literally the only time he left the set.
That was another thought. Pretty cool for anybody who loves baseball to hear King Griffey Jr. call your name.
Yeah, absolutely. For
So
Skeens.
good on Paul Skeens.
Plus show.
That's fucking sick. That also led me down a Griffey hole, and watching King Griffey Sr. and King Griffey Jr. hit back-to-back home runs reminded me that's probably the coolest father-son moment in sports history. Even like a Bronny to LeBron alley-oop or vice versa would be okay, but I don't think it hits back-to-back home run status.
Hitting a home run is so hard.
Yeah,
Hitting
and
back-to-back home runs is harder. Being a father-son
So
in the
fucking
league,
crazy.
in the league at the same time, on the same team, batting
in the
back,
majors,
batting back-to-back, and then homering back is
That's absurd.
The probability of that is astronomical.
That's like some of that shit that makes you think that real life is actually a simulation. Truth is stranger than fiction.
The Matrix.
So
Gotta break up
the
that
draft's
fuse.
awesome, man. And look, what happens when you have a national championship team? You have a school record number of players drafted. I love hearing Agenhausen come back. Chat saying Christian Little's coming back. That he just announces that he's talking about wanting to finish what he started or something.
He tweeted a picture of himself in the dugout with his LSU jersey on and all that sort of shit. So, yeah. It's interesting. I was told Christian Little got offered, I think, 100. It was 100 or 125, and passing on that is probably not financially the best decision because
You don't think you could work up higher next year?
it doesn't matter.
His form?
It doesn't matter because he's going to be a senior with no leverage.
Yeah, but no leverage, even
Zero
if he
leverage.
plays really well, it still equates to getting fucked that hard.
I've given this example a bunch. So Kramer went in round 32 as a junior and was offered $250K, passed on it, came back, went in round 4 and got 125.
Damn, that's fucked
They
up.
give you whatever. Like, I'm telling you, Gavin Dugas, and I don't know Gavin's number, but I was told before the draft, I even tweeted, expect some of the seniors with no leverage to be taken. I had a scout tell me, if Gavin's available, we're going to pick him today and offer him $5,000 and just say, do you want to continue your baseball career or get a desk job? And so it's really that where they would say his slot was 330 or something like that. And, of course, they drafted Cruz, so Cruz probably wanted over slots, so they got to find money in their draft pool for him. So you have to draft someone you know you're not going to sign or that you can sign when in their
Surely
slot.
not $5K. That's so fucking disrespectful.
It doesn't matter. It's like Gavin gets the opportunity to forever say he was a 6th-round pick and gets a chance to go play pro ball. Like, I get what you're saying. I'm not saying it was 5. I'm telling you that I had a scout tell me on Monday,
Like, that's how
we're going
ruthless
to
they
pick
can
him
be.
for $5,000.
What the fuck? Fuck you. Whatever. Well, that really sullies any story where somebody chooses to come back for their last year. But fuck yeah,
you're not
Christian
coming
Little.
back for a senior year to make more money. There's no scenario where that could actually happen.
Leah Van tweeted that, I guess it is official, Christian Little back. Nate Ackenhausen back.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
I like it.
There's a couple nice arms there. Is everybody else gone? Did Milazzo undrafted? Okay, let's start here then, because I haven't talked to anybody about this, so I don't have a great explanation. Why did Jordan Thompson, why were the projections so off on him?
So I know this is really weird because the MLB draft is just so different than literally every other draft, because it's not binary as we like you, we're going to pick you, you're going to play for us. Because you are dealing with draft slots and draft pools, and there's a lot of different considerations. So I'm confident telling you this, and you can choose to believe me or not. This is up to you. You choose to believe if my information's good. Make up your own mind. I'll just tell you. Thompson's number was 500K. So that would have put him round 3-ish, round 3, 4, which is really in line with what his projections were. Like we talked to Brian Sikowski from Perfect Game, Kylie McDaniel, Keith Law, all the draft, everybody had him top 5 rounds. Probably late 2, early round 3, which would put him in the $500,000 range. He wanted 500K, and he wouldn't come off his number. And so teams called and tried to get him to sign for less. They tried to talk him down. He wouldn't. And so then it's just on to the next, to someone who will, because these teams aren't just drafting players.
So in the same way, when he got picked, did he get his number?
He did not get 5, but in round 16, I believe, he went 15. He went 15 to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers gave him 250. So he got half his number. But keep in mind, there is no slot in round 15. So the Dodgers took money that would have been allocated for somebody else in the top 10 rounds and gave it to Thompson.
It's the inverse of what we just talked about.
Yes, they got a player that they really liked at what they feel is a bargain.
Yeah.
We get so sometimes associated with the round.
Very true.
But
no, I understand what you're saying. I feel like you've done a fine job of explaining it. But I agree with you. There's a huge disconnect, because in every other sport, all we care about is round.
Yeah, it's just
because
where do you go.
There's no wiggle room. The round is tied to money. MLB, obviously, you can fucking manipulate it in a lot of different ways.
Let me give you
Put Kai Harley in charge of an MLB team and let him draft.
Well, let me give you an example of something that happened with an LSU guy, and I don't mind sharing this because he said it candidly on my show. So Anthony Renato, who was a junior in 2010 and was a projected first-round pick, he fell like Ty Floyd did into the compensatory round, the competitive
so Ty Floyd
round.
fell? I didn't know that was falling for him.
To 38. Well, so I'll tell you what happened with Floyd if you're interested. Again, you can choose to believe me if not, or I'll just give you my information.
Fuck him, dude. Fuck anybody who doesn't. Let's go.
No, that's fine. So Floyd was looking at going as high as potentially 17 to Baltimore. Baltimore decided to go with Enrique Bradfield from Vanderbilt.
Yep.
So they went with an outfielder, which is fine. He's a great player. The next slot that made sense was 24, which is the Braves, who liked him a lot. But Hurston Waldrop was still on the board, which nobody really expected at that point. So the Braves picked Waldrop. So
God, the Braves are fucking good.
So I was told after the Braves picked Waldrop that Houston was drafting Floyd at 28, but they were waiting him out and trying to get him to come off his number. Well, he didn't. And so if you go see what happened, the Astros picked the shortstop from Nebraska, who was like on prospect boards like in the 50s, like he was overdrafted. But that's clearly a guy who agreed to take less money.
And then you can save money for later on if you want.
And then look what happened today. Today, Houston signed as an undrafted free agent a Florida commit who had transferred in from UCLA, a lefty, who Florida was, or is a righty. It was a righty.
So brutal UDFA steal out of the transfer class.
And so an undrafted free agent, you max.
Oh, that fucking hurts.
The max you can pay an undrafted free agent is $150, unless you have money left from your draft pool, and then you can pay them on top of that. So clearly, Houston wanted a pitcher. And so they went to this kid who had committed to Florida as a transfer from UCLA and paid him as an undrafted free agent, probably from the money they saved on their first-round draft pick.
Okay,
that's my guess.
So let's go here then next.
So anyway, so that's why Floyd didn't go to Houston. He would not take a deal. So he comes off the board to Cincinnati at 38, and his slot is 2.5. I think 2.55. So that's what Floyd got.
2.5. Let's go.
I mean that is the quintessential example of what coming to school can do for a guy. Undrafted out of high school, leaves college after 3 years with a 2.5.
So that's where I wanted to go next because. And I guess directly off the heels.
By the way,
it
they did
is
a really good job.
Directly off the heels of Floyd. These guys are not Floyd, right? But it does look like Jake Brown and Cam Johnson are coming.
Sure. So
to LSU.
So I'll give you a tidbit on those
All right,
two.
let's
Okay.
go.
So Cam Johnson, lefty, IMG Academy, 95 from the left side.
Go look up scouting videos on this. I mean, people are like, he's a surefire first-round pick. This dude, he's like CC Sabathia. He's like 6'5", 240, lives at 95.
95 from the left side doesn't show up to college. It just doesn't happen. It's like when it does, it's Asa Lacy from Texas A&M, if you remember that freak show. Like, they just don't come to school.
Did Asa Lacy ever make it in the bigs?
I don't know what he's doing.
But I'm sorry, let's not get distracted.
Okay. So Cam Johnson's number was $3 million. And similarly, teams tried to get him to come off the number, and he wouldn't budge. So the longer you go into the draft, do teams have money available in their slot pool to pay you? They can keep calling and saying, will you take 2.5? Will you take 2.2? And he was very firm. He's like, I am not budging off of $3 million. And that's always a weird juggling act because sometimes it's hard, T. Like, a team will call you probably about 10 minutes before they pick, and they'll usually have two prospects. They'll call you and say, all right, we're going to take you here at 31. Will you take 2.8? And you have to decide right now. And if it's no, then they're calling the next guy.
God,
will you take
crazy.
boom? And usually you have one and you have a backup in case the guy you want gets picked. So Cameron Johnson just wouldn't move off of $3 million, and nobody paid him $3. So he gets taken in round 20 on a flyer in case if something weird happens, but he got taken by St. Louis, who, looking at their drafts, they
don't have enough money.
They do not have the money to pay him. So they certainly don't have the money to pay him $3 million. So if he was that firm on it throughout, why is he going to take a dramatically reduced deal now?
So
he's coming. Barring something dramatically unforeseen, a weird Kumar Rocker type thing, he's coming to school.
So with him and Jake Brown, extremely likely to come to LSU and not budging off those numbers, how much do you believe, and I know it's a bit of everything, right? Because now there's NIL opportunities. You're going to get your school paid for. You're going to make money on top of getting your school paid for, especially at LSU.
Yeah.
You got the G team. You got everything. But how much does Jay Johnson's pitch that he's been refining, that he told us about in the opening press conference at LSU,
yes,
that then now has been completely validated with mountains of evidence? How much does Jay Johnson pitch make those players comfortable to stay at those numbers? Because I always think about the nightmare of a Maurice Hampton, where didn't he turn down a couple mil out of high school?
That happens. And he bet on himself, and then he didn't make it in baseball, and now I think he's playing football at Memphis now for his final year. But Jake Brown's another one. So Jake Brown's from Sulphur. He's a two-way guy, lefty, power bat, who will also play first. So he'll back up Bear Jones at first. Big left-handed bat, and he's also a left-handed arm. And his number was 2.6. And he didn't budge off his number. It was the same thing. And
so how much do you think Jay Johnson, though, is his pitch is empowering them to feel like, you know what, I may not get it now, but honestly, maybe coach is right. My best path to the bigs and quality and partying in college and money, all that now lies for you if you go to school.
Yeah.
Especially in a place like LSU where we keep talking about in today's day and age, emotional investment becomes economic investment. So, these cats can come be fucking superstars and live in nice places and travel nice and have great facilities and get to develop against the best and then see where they're at in a couple of years. And everything else, they probably still make money. I guess Maurice Hampton would be, the darkest of these stories.
Yeah.
But, generally, these guys are still going to find something out of it.
There was a kid, Karsten Whitson. That was it. I don't know how I just pulled that. Karsten Whitson was a pitcher.
Go ahead.
From Florida. I think he went 8th in the draft, He went 8th in the draft and didn't sign.
What? Was he at his wits' end?
He went 9th overall in 2010. They offered him 2-1, opted not to sign, even though he was picked. He was picked, and he opted, which is so bizarre. He had reportedly asked for 2-7, and so he decided to go back to school. He decided to go to school, pitched at Florida, got hurt, never really, and then ultimately was taken in the 11th round in 2014.
Damn.
So.
Did you hear my wits end show?
And he's like in an independent. He's a pitching coach now. I'm sorry, he's coaching.
Did you hear my wits end joke?
No.
I said, is he at his wits end?
Oh, like
Whitson.
Karsten Whitson. Yeah, I got it. But Jake Brown was 2-6.
Well, you know who's even dumber than him? Neff. What's his first name?
Was it Eugene?
No. It's a really fucking stupid. You know, I'm distracting though. The point is, I believe that Jay Johnson played a massive fucking role, combined with the environmental elements of LSU to get the, and what does he keep saying in all these press conferences when he comes on your show, my show, everywhere? What does he keep saying? He keeps talking about, look, you cannot win the championship if you don't have future major leaguers on the roster. Like they don't all have to be major leaguers. Like, look at Cade fucking Beloso. Tell me that dude wasn't one of the cornerstones of winning a championship. Absolutely was. But you still need Skeens, Cruz, your fucking dogs, Floyd, and it looks like maybe in Cam Johnson and Brown. Like, look at Gavin Guidry, number 1 player in Louisiana. He comes. You don't think he's happy? I don't know. Where did he get drafted last year, actually? Just curious.
I don't think he got picked. Because he made.
But he had a high number.
Correct. So he didn't get his number. So he's like, don't draft me. I'm going to school.
But like,
he might have gotten picked. I don't remember.
It doesn't really matter. The point is, like, you don't think he's happy about coming to school? Like, this year, as if Jay Johnson needed it, because he didn't really need it. He's already recruited incredibly well everywhere he's been. He's already been incredibly successful everywhere he's been. But now he has that fucking ring. Yeah. It's like pouring diesel on an open flame. I mean, you're just going to fucking supercharge it. And you're already seeing it.
I know last year Gavin Guidry turned down $2 million multiple times in the draft as a shortstop.
Damn.
So,
what position is he going to play next year? He's going to be your short, right?
We can talk about him. The other thing, too, is when you go, what we're also seeing is when you go to school and you play at the highest level, like in the SEC, guys are fast-tracking to the bigs.
Yeah.
So instead of spending...
they don't spend forever in the minors.
Yeah, instead of spending 3-4 years, ride a bus, staying in shitty motels, making no money, maybe you spend rookie ball and a season and a half before you get called up. So, I mean, you're excelling. You get to live a great life in college where you're flying private, playing in big stadiums, meaningful games, getting great development, access to facilities, NIL, everything. And then your and then your time in the minors is abbreviated. So,
you know what? I like one thing you hit on there that we hadn't mentioned: meaningful games, because that shit fucking matters. You know what's not tight? Playing in front of 200 people in El Paso. Yeah. You know what is fucking tight?
Selfish.
Playing in front of 20 fucking thousand or 15,000 or 11,000. Like, and even then, Matt, you get into a bit of the college baseball zeitgeist that took place this year, right? Where you had your most viewed College World Series and all these other numbers that ended up coming out. And it's one of those deals where, again, if you're a high school player, how attractive does the minors actually feel at a certain point? Like, yes, the money is something that you always have to consider, but you're also going to make money now in college. It's just crazy. Like, LSU is in maybe, is this fair to say, maybe the most prime position in all of college baseball? I'm talking about a confluence of perfect events where you have NIL and you have Jay Johnson showing up, and you're like this is a fucking perfect storm of good that is assaulting already the most legendary baseball program.
Yes. It looks a lot like Nick's 15-year run at Bama.
Yep.
That's what it looks like.
Yep.
When you're going to be able to get every player you want, you have every resource you want, you already have all the history and the current success of the current staff and all that. So, yes. So
and Ryan's in the chat talking about and like girls and that's a real thing. And I wouldn't say girls, I'd say like social. right? The ability to be a college kid with other college kids, go through traditional partying things, be the big man on campus, and again, now you have fucking money in your pocket. It's an attractive pitch, dude. The
one thing I'll tell you, too, is, and I mentioned this on AFR, I did tweet about it, so some of you may have heard me say it already. Forgive me if you did. But so Braden Montgomery from Stanford is in the portal. He is.
Who is he? Tell me now. Give me like a elevator
Okay,
pitch.
so Braden Montgomery, a two-way guy.
Okay.
On the mound, 98.
What?
Right fielder, switch hitting with power from both sides.
What?
He is a potential 1-1 guy in the 24 draft.
Ooh.
So
and he's transferred to Stanford?
So he's Paul Skeen. He had a 35 on his ACT. He went to Stanford from Mississippi, from Madison, Mississippi. His parents are doctors. And so for him,
Jesus Christ, kid, leave some
right,
for the rest
seriously.
of us, dude.
So it's a situation where he goes to Stanford but baseball was secondary to academics. He made 35 on the ACT. His family.
Yeah.
Well, he goes to Stanford, and like Skeens, all of a sudden he's developing. And now you look, and he's like got a legit shot of being the first pick in the draft next year.
And you know it fucking sucks for Stanford because they were great, but what's their home environment like? Do people show up? Like, do people care?
No.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, no.
Sunken
right?
Diamond is their field. It's no, but so for him, it's LSU, Mississippi State. Two guys he played with in high school, including his best friend, are on the team at Mississippi State. But I thought of this because you just said it. His girlfriend goes to LSU. so you got national champ Jay Johnson, NIL, and your girls in Baton Rouge.
And we all know
it's undefeated,
what
bro.
Throughout time is undefeated.
Undefeated.
Father time and sexual attraction works both ways. It's not just women who are undefeated. But yes.
So
wow.
If LSU, I'll say this.
Why didn't Ndamukong Suh transfer here? What a bitch.
If LSU gets Montgomery, he is your day one starter in right field, hitting in the middle of your lineup. He's your protection for Tommy White, one way or the other. And he's your closer.
What?
I mean, immediately.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I would say that if they get Montgomery and if they land Luke Holman, which I think there's a great chance they do. That's the pitcher from Alabama he's the guy.
He's the guy that scratched the Bohannon night.
Yes. But Holman was their Friday guy, but he's not an SEC ace, but he's an SEC starter. So you take that guy and make him your number 3 behind Hurd and maybe Lore, whoever else might be the number 2 that might emerge. Now all of a sudden you got a pretty fucking sick rotation. And then if you got Montgomery and Wright, and then you add that to Neal and Bear Jones and Tommy White and Paxton Kling and Josh Pearson, I would say that next year's team would be more talented than this one. If they get him. Now they got to get that kid, and they got to get.
What's crazy is I never read the piece, and I need to because the headline lives in my mind. So this is bad work by me. But like, did you read how did LSU get better prospects in the Mets farm system article? So is LSU just increasing the lead?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Like, it just feels like they're just cleaning up right now.
Oh, wow. Look at that. DeMario Tolan no longer with Auburn's program.
Damn, dude.
You think he's coming back? I don't know. I do not know at all. Full disclosure, I was shocked. I mean, I wasn't shocked to know why he left. He left because he got NIL money. But LSU loved him. Like, they loved DeMario Tolan. The coaching staff loved DeMario Tolan.
He's a fucking dog, dude. He flashed so much on film.
I know.
He was honestly the biggest loss of the portal. I mean, like way beyond anybody else.
What's going on there? That's bizarro world, man. Come on back, DeMario.
So okay. I'm going to be a bit reckless because I do not know.
Move this out the way.
And so I'm trying. I can't get it. I got this top crust of the spinach artichoke sticking on the chip. God damn. Okay, what the fuck ever.
You all right?
I'm going to be reckless. This is not reporting.
Put this one over here.
This is hugely potentially bullshit. Like, I want to preface this every way I can. The story we told him when he left is that Auburn just paid him more, right?
NIL, sure. I mean, Auburn was slinging cash last offseason in a big way.
So it feels like this potentially becomes one of those you have to measure other things on top of just the money, which is unfair for me to say because I measure everything based off of the money. Like anybody who wanted to give me more money, I would likely do that thing because, you got family, you got people to provide for, etc. I'm sure Tolan feels the exact same way, but that is a huge bummer because he was in a great spot at LSU. They loved him. He had huge success his freshman year. He really flashed. If he left simply because of the Rays and they got there and it just didn't work, that's a bummer.
I would suggest that if they would have gotten Tolan, if Tolan would have stayed, they probably don't go get Omar Spates. I mean, I don't know that definitively, but there wouldn't have been a reason to.
Yeah.
They loved him. They loved Demario Tolan. That was listen to Brian Kelly talk about Tolan last year. But Auburn was slinging cash, man. So, and I'm not, by the way, that's not I'm not hating on Auburn for that. You got it.
No, you should be.
Yes, you should. You're playing the game.
But all I'm saying is, Matt, I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying that is a natural function of a different framework for your decision being made, where in the past, now granted, deals took place and everything else, but in the past, you are factoring fit a lot into your decisions, whereas now, if somebody's just going to offer you more money, it's very natural to think, I'll make the fit work. Sure. I don't give a fuck about the coach. I don't care about anything. I will make it work because the opportunity here is so huge.
Yeah, it is a bummer about Tolan. But I think LSU's linebacker group is good. We'll get to questions here in a bit. So if you're on live, if you're in the chat, YouTube or Facebook, get your questions. We'll get to those here in about 10 minutes or less. But have you started to think at all about one last thing on baseball? So there were 5 guys you were sweating. I think 4 of them are coming on campus.
Wow.
So you're going to have to. And then the veteran guys, like you mentioned, Little may be coming back. I think maybe somebody reported that. But Milazzo, Travinsky, Ackenhausen, guys that didn't get drafted, you want them back. Now, do all those guys come back is interesting because now you had a little depth. Did they go somewhere where they could play? I don't know. But if you're Jay Johnson, of course you want all those guys. Look at what the veterans did on your team this year. It's just, I'll give you an example.
Wait, so you don't know on Travinsky? Because I wasn't asked Scone T question yet.
I was told, a month left in the season, Travinsky was still planning on coming back.
Okay.
That was a month ago.
Does he slot into DH?
Yeah. I mean, because Brady Neal's going to catch. Brady Neal's going to be your catcher. They probably revert to what they did.
He didn't beat out 2 very good players by accident, right?
No, so Brady Neal has the most upside. So Neal's your catcher, and then they do what they did a year ago before Neal's injury, which was Neal's your starter, Milazzo's your defensive replacement, and then Travinsky becomes basically Cade Beloso. He becomes your DH, part-time first baseman with Jared Jones playing first. So that's how I would see it today anyway. Oh, so is there anything and then, we mentioned all the
Wait, real quick. Hey, Violet, what's up, baby? Hope you're having a great night. You need to go sleep for Dad, okay?
Violet?
Bilbo said in chat, I just put show on my TV and Violet won't stop looking when she hears you. Are you her dad? Potentially, Bilbo, but those are questions for another night. For now, Violet, I just need you to go to sleep for Papa.
Ooh. You just call that man's daughter your child.
Yep.
That's what you did.
Yep. I intimated that I cucked him.
Yep.
Which is obviously not true. I love Bilbo to death. That's my fucking guy. I mean, his name is Bilbo T. Baggins. It's got sexual innuendo. It's got Lord of the Rings.
Is that
How
his real
could we
name?
not fall in love? Is it? Can I say real names? I mean, it's not a last name. His real name's Billy. So yeah, basically.
Okay. Anything or anyone you're looking forward to talking to? Oh, you wanted to talk about who's going to media days. You had a point on that that you want to say. So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, if you look at last year's group versus this year's group, it's a program that knows itself much deeper. Last year's group was Jack Besh, Ojulari, and Mike Jones, right?
Mike Jones. 2 of them.
So Mike Jones is somebody you knew who was not going to play.
Last year we didn't know that.
Well, you're right. I shouldn't say that. But somebody who's A great kid, an incredible interview, a very good leader, but not the most exciting on the field, right? And then you had Jack Besh, who just felt like kind of a fucking, like, throw your hands up. Like, I mean, I don't know. Who the fuck do we send, dude? We only had, like, 39 players left over, and this guy's pretty good as a freshman, and he's worked really hard and done well during summer, so let's, like, throw him in there.
And he's good in media. He's good on camera.
Yeah, he's good on camera, right? And then B.J. Jolari's legit. B.J. Jolari make it any year. No problem with that whatsoever. But the other two selections are selections you only see on a team that doesn't really know itself. And then you know, there's no quarterback. Like I said, there's a distinct lack of seniors. So I guess Mike Jones is technically a senior at that point, but still one of three. And so you go from that to now a quarterback in Jaden Daniels. If you bring in a quarterback to SC Media Days, you're in a better spot than a team that is not in a lot of ways.
That's true.
You all have Mekhi Wingo, who is, I mean, you want to talk about being a fucking meritocracy? This cat goes to Mizzou, balls out, freshman All-American, transfers to LSU, balls out, All-American. Even though you have a guy, Mason Smith, that maybe you're tempted to send, Mekhi Wingo has earned it. And he won your Iron Tiger Award. And he's been the leader in that room. And he went through all the battles last year. And so Mekhi Wingo earns his way there. And then Josh Williams, which is the ultimate validation of persistence and overcoming adversity, and in a running back room that is going to be by committee and is unproven, he is your lead guy. And you relied on him last year. Who laid out Dennis Rodman style for the pancake block to set Jaden Daniels up for the game-winning touchdown in overtime against Alabama last year? Josh Williams. Who scored the touchdown before that from the 3 to, I'm pretty sure, put LSU up by 10 before Bryce Young did Bryce Young things. Just like,
such a great run, too. That touchdown run was awesome.
I mean, you're being flippant about it, but you're disrespecting.
No, I'm being dead serious.
Okay,
I'm being dead serious.
Oh, okay. I thought you were, because there was like a 3-yard run.
He was wrapped and spun and fought through and got to the line. No.
My bad. I thought you were being flippant about it.
We did Whiskey and Wine enough last year, like, mad respect for Josh Williams.
Yes.
He is not the most physically gifted by any stretch, but I said this a million times. If I need a yard, that's the guy I want to carry the ball.
Yes. Okay.
No. That was not in any way. That was being very sincere. That touchdown run was incredible.
So the
I
point
watched it
is,
again on Friday when they did the takeover thing.
The point is, those are 3 proven leaders, which is way different than what you brought last year. And it's just a sign of a program that has really matured in a year under Brian Kelly.
Your point about quarterbacks is so true. So, for example, Bama's not bringing a quarterback.
I know.
Georgia's not bringing a quarterback.
I know.
Auburn's not bringing a quarterback.
I know.
Ole Miss is not bringing a quarterback. I have often felt. So here's the thing. So by the way, I think what you just said makes a ton of sense. And
wow, fucking clip it.
I know. I think that's 2 weeks in a row now I've said that. But all that shit you just said makes sense. And I agree with it. It all makes sense. I look at media days through a different prism. I look at media days from the standpoint of you are bringing together media from all over the conference and the country. What is the most interesting story we can tell? That's my thought on media days. It's not who deserves to be here. It's who's interesting. The fact that Kentucky is not bringing Devin Leary is fucking absurd.
Yeah.
The SEC should have called Mark Stoops and said, fuck you, you're not coming unless you bring that kid.
But that's because most teams approach it as a reward to be earned by people.
I get it. And I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not there, forgive me, to talk to Eli Cox, Octavius Oxendine, or J.J. Weaver.
You fucking love Cox, dude.
I don't care about talking to any of those 3 players from Kentucky. Maybe.
Not even Oxendine?
Maybe.
His dad has a fucking car dealership. They're great.
Maybe. Not maybe. I will no doubt sit down with somebody on this list who I could not tell you today what position they play or who they play for, but I will have the chance to interview them one-on-one on Radio Row, and I'll come away from it like blown away and really impressed, and it'll be awesome. And it's one of the things I love about media days is, whenever we do get to see some of the players and stories, and that's okay, but you can't ignore Harold Perkins. Like, there's literally, like, Andy Staples did a podcast talking about Harold Perkins for Heisman consideration, and he's not there?
But he can't go anywhere. He's got another year to get it.
But I just
No, I know. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you, though.
It's
you want. You got to reward your fuck. I feel you. It's super from a media
Reward the guy
perspective.
that, as a freshman, was an All-American and had double-digit tackles for a loss and led your team in sacks and shit. Like,
If Harold Perkins
break.
went, nobody be upset. But at the same time, in that locker room, that is a prize to be given out. And if you send Harold Perkins this year, well, then he's going again next year, right? So that's a slot that's locked up for 2 years.
Is that
so
a mint
it's
julep?
What is this right here?
It's margarita?
That's something that we're doing. It's pretty much a gin and tonic and
Okay.
a mojito.
Ooh,
Oh, mojito.
Gin tonic mojito.
It's like a overproof white Jamaican rum. So
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Okay, let's see. Thank you. Very summary.
So we got to get to questions.
No, all I want to
But
say, though, is I feel you. You were right.
Ole Miss not bringing Jackson Dart is
It's
fucking
crazy.
stupid.
But then again, Lane Kiffin's been fucking Jackson Dart in the ass for a year
But I get
now.
it, and maybe he doesn't end up playing. But goddamn it, JT Daniels came from
Jackson
Georgia.
Dart is going to end up playing is the dumbest part. He's going to be starting.
JT Daniels came from Georgia and ended up losing his job to Stetson Bennett the year they won the Natty 2 years ago. Like, in 21, get the years confused.
Zach Lynn
But-
says, don't you want to pick someone who can speak well? Maybe Perkins is the best public speaker.
I don't care.
Media savvy does play into it as well. You don't want to be getting a tough spot because it is because I got to go. Now, I only got to go because Russell Shepard got suspended over some bullshit. I talked about this on my show. You want to talk about a great sign of how
I remember
much
the
things
Russell
have changed?
Shepard thing. It's because
He got suspended for staying at his girlfriend's fucking apartment during the interim school session.
and he just kept his
and he
rent
kept
money.
yes, fucking absurd. Anyway, whatever. So he can't go, and then I was like the leading vote getter on the unit council, so I was like a leader on the team, and they knew that like I did because those guys prep, Matt. You prep for weeks for that, right? So they knew like, oh shit, he's fine. He can get in front of the camera. He's not gonna fuck up. And
How
so
far you have come.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying, right? No, that's what I was joking about. It used to be like, he's not going to say anything inflammatory, and now that's all I do.
Oof.
Wow.
I mean, that's crazy. I was not at media days when you were there, but I would now. We went the next year. 12 was the first year we started going.
But anyway, I guess the point is, it is one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life, and it is a real honor, and it is a real reward. And if you don't reward Mekhi Wingo this year, he doesn't get rewarded. I guess he might not leave after this year, but I think he probably will. I don't know about that, actually. Whatever. The point is, if you don't reward the guys now, then you
Depends
risk that
on
they
his
won't
slot
have that.
value.
Yeah, they won't. Yeah, exactly right. But like Josh Williams will never have that opportunity again, and it's good and he's earned this opportunity. So I feel you. It is not the best from a strictly media perspective.
That's why we're there.
But that's why we're there.
Why is Florida not bringing Graham Mertz?
But that's not why Brian Kelly's there, and that's not why Billy Napier's there.
Yes, it is.
No, these coaches are there.
That's why the event. That's why the event happens. The event isn't. The event isn't designed as a reward for 50, 40, whatever.
A lot of time,
player.
you know this about art. Original
42
intent doesn't matter.
I get it.
Authorial intent doesn't matter.
And my point has always been the league should decide who comes from what program.
These
Because when
control-free coaches would never accept that.
I don't care. That's what should happen. Is if you want this event to actually be what it can and should be, the league should decide who comes, because the coaches are going to leave it, are going to make those types of decisions, because their motive isn't let me go do what's most interesting. It's what you just said.
Well,
which
that's
is
part of the motive,
right.
and also like, I don't want to come off as too naive here. Like, it's a dual benefit where yes, it is this excellent carrot for people who have accomplished great things, but also Lane Kiffin doesn't want Jackson Dart to have to answer a million. Why do you bring in Spencer Sanders? Why do you bring in Walker Howard? Are you worried? Those are the most interesting stories surrounding Ole Miss. But the very nature of the weird, friction-based relationship of media and the sports that we cover is the most interesting stuff to us is the stuff that they least want to talk about a lot of the time. And so it's that friction where the coach is like, okay, you know what, yeah, fuck it. I don't want to send Jackson Dart, and I get to honor this O-lineman that you don't give a fuck about, but he's a fifth-year senior and a leader on our team.
And then you know what happens? That O-lineman that nobody gives a fuck about, that's a leader on the team, ends up sitting in the corner at his dais with no fucking body around
Not fucking
him.
me, dude. I fucking balled at media day. I fucking dropped my nuts on these newspapers. It was insane.
Your name was T-Bob.
Yeah,
Like, you were interesting because of your name.
And I was the highest-rated player in NCAA 2012 on LSU. Don't forget, 93. Suck it, nerds.
But seriously, I remember when you committed. It was a thing because you were Bobby's kid.
Whoa,
and you
second-ranked center in the nation.
Nothing. But nobody cares about.
No, I'm kidding, bro. I'm a Nepo baby. Absolutely. 1,000%.
But no, the point is, it was interesting in the way that Mason Taylor was interesting as a 3-star tight end because he's Jason Taylor's kid, and you're like,
yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Man, that's all,
you know what?
Bloodlines,
Like, people give a fuck about bloodlines in football. Absolutely.
TJ Hushmanzada's daughter plays softball at LSU. Why does that matter? Because it's TJ Hushmanzada's daughter.
No,
and
bro.
hopefully she carves her own path. But yeah,
I want to be painfully clear. I am not. I am a big Nepo baby. I mean, you can look up anything I've ever said on air. I'm very clear about this. I'm just trying to make the most of my opportunities. I have no fucking. You think I had any fucking illusions about coming to LSU with who my father was and what that entailed? And I'm lucky in that it was all super positive, and it never affected me negatively or wasn't negative. Maybe until that press conference when he went after Miles, and then everybody was like, "What fucking happened?" Even though I'll still say it. The Cannon has never claimed to be a journalist, okay? And he asked a question that everybody fucking wanted to ask.
I don't think he asked a question. I think he just yelled at Les Miles.
Well, that's but that
there,
is
there,
no.
There wasn't
that's
a
exactly
question.
what the question said. That's exactly what the Cannon said. That is the question. Because Bonnet was like, "Where's the question?" That is the question, okay, bitch? Why the fuck did he play Lee? That's a fucking question. What do you mean? He fucking just laid out the argument to make it to make it. But then I remember doing an interview in Atlanta Radio the next day, and they started asking me about what happened. Like I fucking paid attention to the post-game press conference. I'm like, what?
It's so funny.
And that was
dude.
my first inkling of the shitstorm of conspiracy that was about to start swirling around me and following me around. I'll never get to do an interview on 790 with Steak Shapiro or somebody. And then they're asking me on my dad. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? And then I heard the clip and I was like, God damn it.
It's like, I'm sure after you lose that game, what you want to do is you want to go jump on Twitter or watch SportsCenter and watch highlights if you get your ass kicked all night long. Why would you be locked into that?
As if I didn't want to fuck. Oh, you know what I did? Fucking got the fuck out of that stadium, turned off all my televisions, and wallowed in self-pity with my friends for that night.
Yeah.
Think anybody wanted to be connected to anything where other people could talk to you? Get the fuck out of here.
That's so good.
But whatever. It's to say, for the most part, it was always awesome, and I am a Nepo baby, and it was a great advantage.
Thad Landry said, how good is Will Campbell?
Well, not good according to Lance Hurd. Didn't Lance Hurd say back a few months ago he's going to take his job?
Yeah.
Bitch. And the best part is, they were like, wait, Will Campbell plays? He's like, yeah, we're fucking teammates. I'm going to be a left tackle. Which, I'm fascinated to see where Lance Hurd plays. Is he good enough to break into this starting five? Because breaking into this year's starting five is not breaking into last year's starting five. I mean, you look set with Charles Turner at center. You got Will Campbell left tackle, Emory Jones right tackle, Miles Frazier at one guard, and then Dellinger the other. It's Dellinger, right? Dellinger.
And you've got Marlon Martinez, and you've got Mason Lunsford, the Maryland
transfer from Maryland. Yeah, who didn't his little brother just commit to? Shout out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the point is there, if Lance gets playing time, then he is a certified fucking dog in this squad.
For sure.
I don't remember what the question was, though. Oh, how good Will Campbell? He's fucking awesome. He played left tackle as a true freshman in the SC. Are you shitting me? For a team that won the West. Do you know how hard that is? That's something that should be impossible. And he's got that John Deere sponsorship.
I know. Shout out to Sunshine Equipment. They're about to be the Tuesday AFR sponsor. Sunshine Quality Equipment.
Fuck Sunshine.
Why would you say that?
Where's OTB?
Well, how about you be nice to them? Maybe they'll do an OTB sponsorship too. There's no reason they shouldn't.
No, I said, what the fuck, Sunshine?
That's
Welcome to the
said.
family. That's exactly what I said. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the familia. Dennis Guidry says season better start soon for y'all. Yeah, you ain't wrong, dog. But it is soon. I mean, this is the most fun part. This is the anticipation. This is the flirting, right? This is where we're locking eyes across the bar, and I finally work up the courage to say hi to you, and then we start to exchange pithy, witty comments, and maybe the vibes are great, and maybe even some grinding happens, maybe a little touchy-feely stuff. Maybe we get like an on-the-bar makeout, and then it ends in disaster because I've gotten too drunk and I end up pissing myself, or I don't remember. But the point is, a lot of times the foreplay is even better than or can be better than the whole shebang. And so here we are. Well, this is foreplay part of the season right here, and next week is the ultimate foreplay. Questions? Joe D. asked Scone T. Can T-Bob ask Saban a question about catastrophe syndrome? You got me fucked up if you think I'm asking Nick Saban any question. That man intimidates me.
Look at Flaugier and Angel Reese at the ESPYs.
Damn. Look at them. They look great. The LSU brand continues to kill it.
That's really huge. They said in the Open they had both Olivia Dunn and Angel Reese in the Open to the ESPYs.
Insanity.
I know. Anyway, all right, what you got? Questions. Go. Questions.
Let's go to T. How amazing would it be if the football team won a natty this year with women's basketball and baseball?
Oh, my God.
Looking real
Dude,
strong
Lil
to
Wayne
repeat.
is at the ESPYs with the women's basketball national champs hat on.
Bro, Wayne's becoming an LSU fan.
Not becoming, he is, dude.
No, I know, but that always was. Oh, no, my bad. He's never been a Saints fan. My bad. He's always been an LSU fan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's on me. That's on me. That's right.
Bro, did you see the pivot?
Because he was tight with like Pat and all them back in the day.
Bro, so the pivot episode that dropped last night was Wayne.
Oh, no, I haven't seen it.
I watched it last night, and
They got to sit down with Wayne.
he walks in like because the way they start every episode before like the intro theme, it's like the guest walking in, and so it's all their hellos and shit and their original like initial banter. And Wayne walks in with the LSU jacket
That's
on.
what it was. I heard he had the jacket on.
Yeah,
Okay, it was
and
on the pivot. I didn't hear that.
And so Channing
was right
Crowder and Fred Taylor, like, man, what the fuck? What are you gonna? He's like, oh man, this is something I threw on. Like, he just totally fucking. It was so good. It was so good.
Shout out Wayne. Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, what up, Weezy?
He has the opening song on the Spider-Man album, which is by far my most listened to album of the year this year. I can't quit it, man. It's fucking incredible. That's Scone T. Have you guys looked at the 24 high school baseball class and how many of them have a realistic chance of coming to LSU? 24?
Well, I mean, the one guy is Connor Griffin that everybody's going to talk about. Connor Griffin is a kid from Mississippi who's committed to LSU, and he's a. And I'll say this, and I know I'm going to say it, and people are going to roll their eyes, but like he's Bryce Harper, he's Josh Hamilton, he's that guy as a 16-year-old. I mean, he's just different, and so
I'll say this to defend you. Even if that doesn't come to pass, that is how he's being viewed.
Yes, that's how he's being viewed now. And he's committed to LSU, and I know nobody thinks he's going to show up on campus, and I'm here to tell you that had Connor Griffin on AFR when he committed to LSU, and I can't sit here and pretend to know everything about him, the family, all that stuff, but I know enough about that situation to tell you it is not a complete he's signing a pro deal. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that there was a legitimate chance that kid actually plays college baseball.
Bro.
I mean, you could think Dylan Cruz, but he's better than Dylan at this point.
Dylan Cruz's number was $6 million.
Yeah.
Now he's making $9 million.
Yeah.
You know?
It worked.
And again, we can't underestimate the human element. The temptation of being a young kid going, who wants to fucking skip college? You know what I'm saying?
No, I didn't like school very much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I fucking loved college, dude. Well, do you mean like the school part of it or the overall experience? You mean the school part of it? Bro, I'm a fucking general studies major. My biggest regret in life is not taking advantage of a higher education that I was offered. So I fucking feel you there, okay? Don't get me wrong, right? Like, I feel
working
you
out
there.
okay for you.
It is working out okay. I'm glad, and it's done well, but like, I feel like a fucking asshole. So I feel you there. But I'm talking about the college experience. I'm not talking about the academics. I'm talking about the college experience. Who wants to skip that? It's tough. Ask Scone T. Why is heat index even a thing? If it feels like 110, how is it not 110? It's actually a really good point. It's a bit of a philosophical question, right?
How about that?
What's that? What am I looking at?
The average U.S. income, $31,133. You're doing fine
No, bro. Look,
with your general studies. You're fine.
I fucking know. I agree, dude. I'm very blessed. Like I said, I'm a privileged little bitch. I've had a lot of things break my way, and I'm very thankful. All I'm saying is now I have academic passions that I did not in the past, and I would have liked to explore it while you're. But isn't that life? You can never really appreciate where you're at the time. You only look back at it and realize what you had. I mean, that's just fucking natural. And Scone T, thoughts on Chase Burns being down to UGA and Wake after visiting UGA? Is that a big blow? God, I thought Chase Shores for a second. I was like, what the fuck did I miss? No, Chase Burns. Okay. Fuck out of here, Chase Burns. I don't want your old bitch-ass volunteer ass anyway. Unless you want to come to LSU. Then we're cool. I'm just kidding.
Like, I know... I want to show you this just so you know that I'm not pulling this out of my ass right now when I say this.
Let me look in your ass.
No, look, I tweeted this earlier today.
Yeah, this feels true after this pod. Sorry, read it.
I said LSU fans are enamored with Chase Burns, but Braden Montgomery is the gem of the transfer class. And I wanted to talk about Montgomery.
Yeah, like we did earlier.
The point is, LSU fans are familiar with Chase Burns because he went to Tennessee and he throws hard and all that shit. He also had an ERA of 6 this year and lost his job in the rotation. Okay? I'm not saying he's shit. He's a special arm talent. I get that. And can you refine it? Sure. What I'm telling you is he comes to LSU. He's certainly not part of the rotation. That's a given. Like, he's not coming here to be a starter. He'd be coming here to be a back end of the bullpen guy. And I'm telling you, if you get Braden Montgomery, he is your day one closer. He is your closer immediately.
And you said protecting Dylan Cruz and playing right field.
Yes.
What the fuck?
And we haven't even talked about Gavin Guidry yet, who closed out the national championship game for you, who they're trying to bulk up and get him up to 95 instead of 90-91, and could be a real threat for you on the mound and as an infielder.
So like Gavin Guidry at this point, right? I know he wanted to play in the field.
He's going to play in the field next year.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm saying, so will he like start a game on the weekend and then play the other two?
I don't think he's gonna be in the weekend rotation. I think
he'll be in the. Oh, so can he just walk from shortstop and
pitch? Yeah,
pitch. Does he not need to warm up like bullpen?
You keep your spot in the lineup, but then what happens is if he goes back, then the pitcher has to hit and you lose your DH.
Okay.
So like you would bring him in maybe to close, or like if a starter, like if there's a starter. Who starts pitching, and you have a DH, and the starter also plays the field, the starter would stay in the field, and you would keep your DH, is essentially, but you would just bet. So, like, let's say your starting pitcher starts the game, and then you lift him in the 6th. Well, he would just go play first base. You pull your first baseman, and your pitcher who started is playing first base, and he's still batting in his spot, and you don't lose your DH because your DH started. Okay. Does that make sense?
But you could theoretically lose your DH if Gavin Guidry's a pitcher, if he's a good hitter. Like if who you're subbing in to pitch is good, then you could say fuck the DH, but then eventually you might have to change him out, and then they could get fucking it, right?
I don't know exactly the scenario you're describing, but let's not lose the point.
You're right.
The point is about Chase Burns, and would you love to have Chase Burns? Yes. What I'm telling you is, there's a reason he lost his starting job. There's a reason he entered the portal. Yes, he throws 100, and that's awesome. But I also, Braden Montgomery is the best player in this portal class. If you can get that kid to LSU, that is the equivalent of getting Tommy White last year. That is the equivalent of getting Jacob Berry, who became the 6th pick of the draft. Like,
isn't it crazy how championship makes you forget about people, though?
Like, Jacob Berry?
Me and Jake were talking about that off air in the studio. We're like, fucking Jacob Berry. Remember him?
6th pick of the draft.
We were so hyped on him. But
switch hitter, power from both sides.
But if that isn't the fucking immortality that I was ranting and raving about pre-championship, like that's how it works. Like Nate Ackenhausen will be more remembered than Jacob Berry. Or maybe that's not a great example. Riley Cooper will be more remembered than Jacob Berry.
Yes.
Which is fucking kind of wild.
Or Cade Beloso.
Yes. Cade Beloso will be absolutely more remembered than Jacob Berry. Let's see.
Any more?
Ask Scone T. Pre-SEC Media Day prediction of LSU's record. Shit. Let's put on our fucking big dick pants.
What?
I'm just getting horny, dude. LSU fucking record predictions? Are you kidding me? Ooh.
Football?
Hot and bothered. Fucking football. Yeah.
11-1.
Oh, God damn it, Matt. I thought you were going to make me last a little bit. I guess I just finished. Time to light up a cig. Let's go. Isn't it kind of crazy that that's not unrealistic? Like, that's my biggest thing with this. The record predictions, I've had to learn to kind of blunt my own sunshine, right? But when you look objectively, you've got the second best Heisman odds in the country at quarterback. You have excellent returning production offensively. You return your entire offensive line. You got a second-year system, one of the greatest head coaches ever. You got an incredible wide receiver group that's as good as any in the entire country. You got a defense that while there's question marks, you've recruited pretty astutely to the transfer portal and other. It's just, and you got a year, Matt, where all the teams you rattled off earlier aren't bringing quarterbacks to SEC media days, right? Like, it's crazy to think, but that is not a super sunshine pumpy estimation. Like, all you're allowing for there, rightfully so, is a fuck up. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
they'll be an underdog at Bama.
Yep.
And they'll be favored in every other game. And I just think somewhere along the way, you just play your worst game of the season, which happens to every team. Every team, every year, you're going to play your worst game.
Georgia almost lost to Mizzou. Never forget.
Georgia damn near lost to Mizzou. Georgia should have lost to Ohio State. I mean, I'm allowing for a fuck up, and I hope that that's not in Tuscaloosa, which would cost you a chance to go to Atlanta. But even still, 11-1 might get you in the playoffs if your only loss is to. But I'm saying 11-1. Like, I'm good to be firm on that, and I haven't said that out loud yet. But I have no reason to not. I mean, the only spot where I'm unsure about LSU is in the defensive backfield, and they actually have more bodies and talent than they had a year ago.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? You don't know who's going to win those jobs at corner, but you have enough talent where you feel positive about who's going to. My biggest position of concern is edge rusher.
Yeah, I said that today on AFR.
Okay.
So
OTB and AFR are in agreement.
I think, and here's the thing: you went and got Ovie Ogofu and Braden Swinson, and neither has ever been a great edge rusher.
Yeah.
Like, Braden Swinson has 3 sacks in 3 years at Oregon. Ovie Ogofu last year had, I think, 8.5 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks. So you don't have a great stat stuffer. But the one thing that I do like a lot,
you got Womack in there.
That's what I said. I think Deshaun Womack is really. Everyone's talking about Zalance Hurd, but I think Deshaun Womack and Javian Toviano are the 2 freshmen that have the chance to make the biggest impact on this team, because they're super talented guys at positions where there's an opportunity to get on the field
that's so
immediately.
True. That's so true. Pass rushers. And look at Harold Perkins last year. You don't have to know the defense. Just go fucking rush the passer.
It's what they did with Kendall Beck with his freshman year.
Just go fucking rush the passer.
Hey, kid, just run up the field and go get that guy.
Yeah, true.
Any more? Any more?
Fonz Andrelli says, I had a pulmonary embolism when my heart was out of rhythm after a hard hit in football. I need to be rushed to the hospital, and they shocked my heart back into rhythm with a pack.
That's crazy.
Fuck, Fonz. Hell yeah, man. Shout out first responders. It's fucking beast.
Glad you're okay, man. Shit.
Ask Scone T. Nah, fuck it. That's it. That's it. Oh, no Savion Jones. Not a pass rusher, but Savion Jones gets overlooked too much when we talk about players that we're excited about, because he really flashed last year. Like, he was really fucking solid. Now, he's not a pure pass rusher.
He's playing the big end spot that Ali Gay played.
Yeah, exactly. But he's good at it. That's all I want to point out. He's very good at it. So if we're talking about edge defenders, you're talking about against the run, like Savion Jones, we're in that 3-5 looking big as fuck. Savion's good.
Savion, Quincy Wiggins. I expect a lot out of him.
About Wiggins, dude.
But Wiggins is probably going to play that big end spot and on the interior as a rotational player as well when they want to go with more athleticism. But if you're just talking about like that Ojulari spot, that Jack spot, like, you don't have. It's Swinson, it's Ogofu. I mean, that's Womack is your opportunity to be like, let's go, bro.
Okay, so Cortland Jacobs says, I should have mentioned this off the jump. You have what should be some very disruptive D tackles. Yes. If we're talking about winning 11 games, Mekhi Wingo and fucking Mason Smith are impossible to ignore. Who's behind them, though?
So you've got
lost the plot on that, if I'm being honest.
So you've got Jacoby and Guillory.
Okay, yeah. Shout out Guillory.
And then you got the transfers. You've got Jordan Jefferson from West Virginia. You got Jalen Lee from Florida. And
Jefferson?
Right. And
unbelievable.
And you got Jefferson. Jesus Christ. And then you got Paris Shan from Arizona. So, and then you've got Tyjee Hill, who was a signee last year. So you've got numbers and size and talent and
And two
like
elite frontline guys.
Yes, you're good. You're
Mason
fine.
Smith, that sit down that y'all did, I think it was that y'all did with him the other day, where he was talking about how he just basically took football for granted. And that's kind of the biggest takeaway is that he's never been more hungry for football than he is now, because since he was 6 years old, he never had a year where he hadn't gotten to play football.
Yeah.
And it's so easy in life to just assume that things are going to work your way. And I believe he told you that he would have been ready by like the A&M game?
Yeah.
That he felt ready by the A&M game?
He felt like he could play against A&M.
Which is not crazy. Which is legitimately not crazy. I mean, ACLs nowadays, you can feel like you're ready to go within like 4 months, 3 months, right?
They said he was running and box jumping, and he felt like he was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? So I guess the point of this all
Dude, I played
is to
football
say
at Catholic. There was a guy who was a running back, Jermaine Hatch, shout out Hatch. He tore his ACL in our spring game. He was our running back. He played the next season.
Yeah.
He was ready.
Yeah, you can do that.
He went to Georgia Tech.
That's very hard. I don't want to make light
player.
of that. You got to really commit yourself to recovery, but that is physically possible with the right set of circumstances. So, no, I'm so fucking excited to watch Mason Smith play football, and I cannot wait, especially because this is irrational, but I fucking guarantee you he has an extra special hate for Florida State, because that's where he fucking suffered against, dude.
You got to look at so Paulie did a short today from the interview we did with him.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I only saw another
You got to go.
Instagram clip from that.
He even. I'll give you I'm gonna give you a tease, so you go watch it. He prefaced it when I asked him about Florida State when he said, "I probably shouldn't say this, but
fuck him." Oh, okay.
No.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
Go watch it. It's on all the 104.5 ESPN social
Kobe
media.
says, Lee and Jefferson going to prevent teams from passing the 50. Fuck yeah, dude. Let's go, Kobe.